The biggest project I'm working on now is Guatemala children. I got interested in doing something down in a third world. We travel quite a bit as a family. And I thought, well, maybe now I have to start giving my time to these people rather than just viewing them. We searched around and found a group in Canmore that were called Hearts and Hands. And how they started was a wonderful lady called Jan Townsend had gone down there, and she discovered that about 1 in 5 children died before they were 6 years old. And they died because of the smoke in their homes. And they just had open fires, and the babies were on the mother's backs. And so every time the mother bent down, the baby breathed in the smoke. And so by the time they were 20, they couldn't breathe, and they had lung conditions and eye conditions, and they couldn't go to school. And so she started building these eco stoves. So that's how we started. We went down there and built stoves. And we'd build 150 stoves in a village, and by the time then that we moved out of that village into another village, they would, everybody'd have a stove. It was just absolutely wonderful. Well, we'd been doing this for 3 or 4 years and discovered that in some of the villages, there wasn't schools that went beyond grade 3. So we said, well, maybe we can change that. So I came back and approached my husband's Rotary Club, and we got them to give us some money, and we got it doubled by the Wild Rose Foundation then. And then we took it to CETA and got them to double it again, and we started adding on to schools and building junior high or elementary schools, and we got a lot of elementary schools built up to grade 6. And then we just didn't leave it at that. Then we thought, well, we have to give them toothbrushes and teach them hygiene. And we had to put water filters in there and teach them how to have pure water. But it wasn't any good unless they went to school, because they couldn't figure out what the dirty water was 6 months from now getting sick. So they couldn't figure that out unless they go to school. And then we had to begin to talk to them about the environment and not cutting trees down and doing that. So it was just a large, large project. These stoves we put in now use 4 logs now instead of 26. So it has really made a difference in the time the family has to work. And instead of cutting logs every other day, they only need to go about once a week now. So it really has made a terrific difference to them. So then we decided we could go even further. And so last year, we decided to build the first junior high in an area. And this is in the high mountain regions of Uspantan in Guatemala, where they were driven up during the Civil War. And they just went to grade 6, and we said, we can build a junior high. And so it's finished. And so in March, we're going down to the opening, and they have computers in there. The government decided, well, this group from Canada isn't going to outdo us, so they put in a high school alongside us. And so we now have from kindergarten to grade 12 in this area, never having had a high school before in their lives. And so this is what we're working on now. And this Little Hearts and Hands now has grown from an organization that had one woman that went down there a couple times a year with 10 or 15 volunteers to a $500,000 foundation across Canada. And so this is what we're working on now. So we're doing so much, and our big project now is we've got a couple workers down there in Guatemala, and they're starting a project called Guatemalans for Guatemala. And so they're going to learn what we're doing and how they can help their people. We're starting in some high schools down there to take the high school kids from Guatemala City that didn't even know these people existed up to the mountains to show them. And so we're doing that. So this has become a wonderful, wonderful project.